Let's talk about how to make friends when you know nobody. Okay, how to make friends at cons. You know what? That's a better title. Let's talk about how to make friends at a furry con. Okay, so I went to this con. I went to Camp Feral. I knew nobody. The only person I knew was Dashy, and Dashy was off doing his own thing. I knew absolutely nobody, guys, at this con. And you know what? It felt weird because like there's all these people around you, and they're all talking to each other, and they all seem to have all this rapport, and you're just there, and you're awkward, and you're anxious, and you just don't know what to do. And like, there seems to be just this invisible barrier between you and a good time, right? You know what? How to make friends at a con? Take a shower. That's some life advice. That's some life advice on how to make friends anywhere. Anyway, so this is my advice on what I did, okay? So whenever I'm in a situation where it's just like I need to break the ice, I literally just like walk up to somebody and be like, yo, hey bud, how are you doing? What's your name? Literally, that is the key. If you ever want your icebreaker in the universe, everybody will respond back with their name, okay? So you can just be like, hey dude, what's your name? And they're just like, yo, I'm Alpha Wolf. What's your name? You're like, yo, I'm Jig. And then, hey, it's my first time at Camp Feral, stuff like that. Have you been here before? And if they said yes, they've been there before, awesome. This person has knowledge about this thing. Let's talk about their previous experience. If they say no, I'm like, me too. I'm new here too. Let's talk about that. So you just have to make like an initial strike. You just have to get in there, get past your anxiety, and like just dive in, okay? And man, did I fail at that the first day. Holy shit. I walked up to this person and I'm just like, hey dude, how are you doing tonight? I did not realize that they were high off their ass. Okay? I did not realize that this person was just absolutely high off their ass, okay? And they're just like, oh, hi, bud. And like, no matter what I said to this guy, he was just like, yeah, great. So I'm just like, okay, failure. I'm ejecting from the situation. What can I do to like start making some friends here? All of a sudden I look at the schedule and it's just like there's s'mores. Oh man, there's s'mores. I can make s'mores, eat s'mores, help people like make s'mores, make friends at the s'mores, right? So I get away from the situation and I go to the s'more event, right? And I get there and there's a whole bunch of people around the fire. Everything's great. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm going to go start making s'mores and they ran out of stick. I'm like, fuck. So I know the story's rambling, but it has a point. I know the story's rambling, but it has a point. I go to the woods, I find the stick, I grab that stick, I come back, I whittle that stick down, I get a marshmallow, I put that freaking marshmallow on the stick, I go to the fire and I start roasting my marshmallow, right? And as I'm roasting my marshmallow, I look over to the guy on my left and I'm like, hey bud, how are you doing? And he's just like, yo, I'm great. How are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing fantastic. I'm roasting a marshmallow here. You're roasting marshmallow here. We have something in common, right? And they're like, yeah, we got something in common. Hey, have you ever heard about like how COVID is fake? And I'm like, oh no, I made a bad friend. He's like, yeah, the government is just using COVID as an excuse to control us. And I'm like, oh no. Oh, and he's the only guy I'm talking to right now. Oh no. He's just like, yeah, and you know the gun control down in the United States that they're trying to do? Ain't that some bullshit? Like, man, they should let us have guns up here in Canada. Like, the government sucks. Like, man. And I'm just like, oh no. I'm with one of these. Oh no. And I'm just like, yeah, the government and stuff. But you know what? Else is like controlling our lives? These marshmallows right now. Why won't they cook? Let's talk about the marshmallows. And you know what? You seem like a cool guy. What do you do for a living? And he's just like, oh man, I worked in the Arctic. And I'm like, oh, I worked in the Arctic too. Let's talk about that. He's like, yeah, I worked in the Arctic doing like oil drilling stuff. And I'm like, I lived in the Arctic doing geology. And there's like, yeah, we're bonded friends, bro. And I'm like, yes, yeah, okay. He's like, you want to meet my wife? And I'm like, I guess. And then his wife comes on over. He's like, honey, this guy agrees that COVID is a hoax. And I'm like, and she's like, oh, honey, that is so great. I'm so glad to meet like-minded people here at Camp Feral. Oh, man, of course, we'd find such a smart people here at Camp Feral. We don't even have a high school education, but we are very smart. He's like, yeah, honey, we are very smart and dedicated, and our lives are going great. I'm like, yeah, they're going great. My life's going great now too. Yeah, there's like this thing over there that I gotta go do right now. Like, I just gotta exit the situation. It's great. He's like, oh man, no, bro, I got you covered. Here's the chocolate right here. I'm like, oh, he got the chocolate. Oh, the best, bro. He's got the chocolate. I can't leave for the chocolate. Oh, man, I need the graham crackers, bro, though. I need those graham crackers to make the s'more. So I'm going to have to go over there to get the graham crackers. And the wife's all like, oh, don't worry about that. I got the graham crackers right here. And I'm like, oh, shit, she's got the graham crackers right there. Oh, I can't get away from this. Help. Someone save me. And then it start going on. It's just like, yeah, so like when we're gonna have kids, we're gonna make sure that the government's not gonna get any of their dirty vaccines inside of them at this point, because like, you know, the government, they just wanted like, there's no reason for the vaccine. It's just a eugenics for your children. And I'm like, yeah, well, your children probably need it. Your children probably need the eugenics to like help counteract the incest genes here. Like, oh my God, please, I need to get away from this. So like after talking for a while, like I'm hyping it up a little bit, but like we did find some common ground and we talked for a bit. Eventually we broke apart and I didn't see them for the rest of the con. But that was the first pair of people I tried to make friends with at the con, and it fell apart pretty fucking hard really quickly. What happened, Electric? What happened was I tried to make friends and they were anti-vax. Immediately at the FurryCon, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting to run into anti-vax people the second I tried to start, like, you know, making friends at a con.